Hello and welcome to my new series, which is going to be all about running in Fuzhou. So the first ever episode that I'm going to do is going to be here in Minjiang Gongyuan. It's not very busy this evening, but usually it's actually quite full of people. The run itself isn't really exciting, but I thought for this first run I'm going to show you one of the runs that I do regularly and show you some of the sights that I might see along the way. Okay, let's go.
Fuzhou is a really great city for outdoor sports. Not just running, but cycling and hiking. There are even some people who do rock climbing up in the mountains. The city is actually surrounded almost 360 degrees by lush, forest-covered mountains.
So the buildings that you can see in the background over there, that's Fuzhou's CBD.
Even if you live right in the centre of downtown, it's actually quite easy to get out into the countryside and go up some of these really beautiful trails or even go swimming in some of the lakes in the mountains around here. It's actually my favourite thing about living in the city.
I'm just coming up to the 3-kilometre mark. Been running for almost 20 minutes, so not a very fast run. I think I'll probably go to about 4 kilometres, 4.5 maybe, and then turn around, making an 8 or 9 kilometre run.
I think when a lot of people imagine China, they just imagine these big, concrete, polluted megacities. Now that's not untrue, there are obviously lots of places like that in China. But China, as local people will happily remind you, is a big place. And just as there's many of these big polluted megacities, there are also lots of cities just like Fuzhou, where actually it's not very polluted and there's a lot of space and you're very close to the outdoors.
If you look carefully, you should be able to see about 4, 5, 6 people swimming. And that's because just up on the river, there's actually a swimming club and a dragon boat club.
Another thing I think people don't really realise about China is that although it has the biggest population in the world, it's also about the 3rd largest country in the world. So what that means is there's actually loads and loads of open space just outside the big cities.
Okay, so I just finished that section of the path and it came in at 4.7 kilometres and about 31 minutes. So I think I'm going to turn back and run back the way I came now. Just down there, where you can see the flags and the e-bikes, that's the swimming club that I mentioned. That's why there are quite a lot of people swimming in this area.
Also, a lot of Chinese cities are actually not that densely populated, so even if you're in the city itself, you can often find enough open space that you can go for bike rides or go running, like what I'm doing in this video where I'm running down the river. The path that I'm actually running down is eventually going to loop the whole island of Tsangshan. So right now it goes from one side of Tsangshan in the east all the way to the west, which is probably about 30 kilometers, I guess, and eventually it's going to loop the whole island. So when it covers the whole of the island, it's going to be about a 70-kilometer path of just uninterrupted space where you can run. Now obviously you probably wouldn't want to do the whole 70 kilometers at once, but still, it's pretty cool that there's all this space and different routes to run.
Okay, so that's it. The final distance was about 9.4 kilometers and it took me about an hour and 7 minutes. So it was a nice run, although it was a very humid night. As I said at the start of the video, I think Fuzhou is a great city for outdoor sports like running and cycling. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of them and I'll try and take this camera along with me as often as I can and keep making more of these videos. So if you enjoyed it, stay tuned for the next one. Thanks guys, bye.